Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the ICEI webinar today. It's a pleasure for me to welcome you all to today's webinar on From Campus to Community, University Cooperatives as Leadership Incubators for Purposeful and Ethical Leaders. I am Ganesh Gopal. I'm the Secretary of the ICA-AP Committee on Cooperatives in Educational Institutions. We are a committee that works under the aegis of the International Cooperative Alliance Asia and Pacific Regional Office. And we work specifically in two areas. One is to promote cooperative education overall, and also, secondly, to promote cooperatives within education institutions, universities, and school settings. Um, the purpose of our webinar here today is to look at the need for university cooperatives as practical leadership incubators. Today, our world is faced with multi-dimensional challenges ranging from war to food security to climate crisis, poverty, and even lack of education and skilling. So a lot of these problems are directly addressed by university cooperatives through their operations, directly or indirectly. They have a big role in contributing to the sustainable development goals. Often these are invisible. These are not often recognized or measured in the appropriate manner. In alignment with the fifth cooperation principle, which is education, training, and information, university cooperatives also cultivate the most essential values of ethical, purposeful, and global mindedness for these young leaders that they are fostering within the university systems. Why we are here to have this discussion and this webinar today is to understand what is the role of university cooperatives in fostering leaders in the space of cooperatives and the overall solidarity economy, and how we can look at innovative approaches for cooperative education and leadership development, and eventually how more exchanges between such ventures, such groups, such university cooperatives can also inspire more youth to join the cooperative movement and address real life examples. There are four sub themes that we are looking at for the webinar today. One is on purposeful leadership. This is by extension an activity and a subject that we had taken up during the ICA Global Cooperative Conference in November 2024, and on the aegis of the in conjunction with the global conference, we were able to organize a physical seminar in Delhi on the subject cooperatives in educational institutions, strengthening cooperative identity through praxis and leadership. So this webinar is also an extension on how university cooperatives and cooperatives overall in educational institutions are able to further leadership roles and creation of a conducive ecosystem that addresses intergenerational equity and eventually has youth join the entire cooperative movement as a whole and take up leadership roles and decision-making roles within the cooperative movement. The fourth sub-themes in the webinar are purposeful leadership, as I mentioned. Secondly, cooperative education in praxis, how cooperative education connects with academic theories and gives them a hands-on experience of actually managing a cooperative. Thirdly, global citizenship education, how the role of these cooperatives in fostering responsible and engaged global citizens exist, and how these intercultural understanding exchanges also further critical values such as human rights, sustainability, which are all components of global citizenship education. And fourthly, like I mentioned, molding community leaders for tomorrow, who are development sector actors and overall community leaders within the social and the solidarity economy. We are joined by a few expert speakers today. Firstly, the three key speakers that we have are young cooperative leaders or student representatives from three countries which have active university cooperative movements and institutions. One is Mr. Dongjun Kwak from the Korean Federation of University Cooperatives. He's the chairperson of the student committee of KFUC Korea. Mr. Mohammad Aiman, who is the deputy chair of USIM Berhad Malaysia, from the Angkasa National Movement in Malaysia. Mr. Keita Takasu is the chairperson of the student committee of the National Federation of University Cooperative Associations, NFUCA in Japan. NFUCA is also the current chair of the ICEI, the Committee on Cooperatives in Educational Institutions. We are also joined by the leaders of the ICEI committee, who have been veteran cooperators and have been leading cooperative education and university cooperatives in the region. Professor Shogo Takegawa, chairperson of the ICEI, and the vice chair, Dato Kamaruddin Ismail from Angkasa, Malaysia. We also have with us today Professor Yashwanta Dongre, who will be summing the reflections both from the session and also from his experience as a career educator. Professor Dongre is also the co-secretary of the ICEI and the vice chancellor of Chanakya University in India. So without further ado, I would like to invite Professor Shogo Takegawa to deliver the keynote address as we commence the webinar. Over to you, Takegawa-san.
協同組合の活動に携わっている皆さん、こんにちは。
Thank you very much to all of the members of the university cooperatives, and thank you very much for such an opportunity. I really appreciate such occasion. And also, I would like to appreciate all of the attendants from the whole world. So, I think I'm getting the voices breaking. Sorry, hold on.
Dina-san, could we check?
And fellow cooperators, thank you for this valuable opportunity. My name is Shogo Takegawa. I am a chairperson of ICEI and president of NFUCA. I've also taught at university for many years. In Japan, cooperatives have long played a vital role in social and economic life, so that many consumer and agricultural cooperatives are deeply rooted in people's daily lives, so that all the household members of consumer co-ops or agricultural co-ops also play a major role in the various activities like food production or distribution. And overall, about 40% of all the households are members of some kind of consumer cooperatives. Agricultural cooperatives also play a major role, and especially in food production or distribution. So their total assets can reach 100 trillion yen, which is approximately $7 billion. In 2022, Japanese government enacted the Worker Cooperative Act. So, until recently, cooperatives in Japan gained legal status through individual laws. However, there has been growing interest to have a common basic law for cooperatives, so that they reflect their shared values and principles in cooperatives. So such basic law is now being demanded to be enacted. So even in the Diet, our parliament, currently in session, will deal with such. And in the background, this movement gained momentum after UNESCO recognized cooperative ideals and practices as intangible cultural heritage. This was 2016. So, in response, the Japan Cooperative Alliance began considering a basic law in 2021 and issued legal proposals in 2024. symposium hosted by JCA is going to be held during 2025, so that cross-party parliamentary group, promotion research group, is now actively promoting legislation for youth cooperative law. So there is a very much important role where the university co-ops are not large in scale, but they play an important role in Japan's cooperative landscape. And especially university co-ops serve as an entry point for many young people to learn about cooperatives in general and engage in them to assist the movement. Some students go on participating in the local co-ops after their graduation, and they help pass cooperative principles to future generations. So therefore, beyond the generation, this cooperative spirit is being carried on. And secondly, it provides essential services. University co-ops support the social mission for higher education. And according to UNESCO's World Declaration on Higher Education, universities have a mission of education, research, and service to the whole society. So university co-ops fulfill this service role by providing various essential support, such as food, books, housing, and student welfare services, and that they will be able to support in the various areas. So globally, it is rare to see cooperatives operating at such scale in universities. Usually, in many countries, these services are provided by governments or the universities themselves. So in other countries, we see these services are usually by government cooperatives or the university themselves. And the third point is autonomy. University co-ops also function to support student autonomy by becoming a platform for student voices. In the past, while the student movement was quite active, Student Council once held strong influence in Japan, but many of such declined after the student movements of the late 1960s. And since then, in the many of the universities are having university co-ops to serve as of cross-faculty student organizations, so that can collect and reflect students' opinions. So this the more of all across the faculty, this university co-op would be able to reflect that kind of autonomy or voices. But unlike simple service providers, university co-ops are funded and operated by students. And the way they operate is their ways that their autonomy or their intention can be reflected. Notably, in Japan, in 2022, legal revision has lowered the age of the adulthood, young adults, to be 18 as an age of maturity, allowing student board members to formally participate in the management, which makes university co-ops to be a valuable place to gain the actual experience in business and leadership. And the fourth point is the function it can actually deliver, fostering community and cooperation. So in addition, student committees within university co-ops, they can function like student clubs and foster bonding and peer connections to strengthen such relationship and offer daily opportunities to experience the value of common cooperation. And these committee activities will be introduced in detail later by Mr. Takasu in his presentation. To give you more of examples, although university co-ops are relatively small, in Japan's broader cooperative movement, they play a meaningful role as a place where students can engage with engage with others and learn the values of cooperation. So I hope these efforts will continue to flourish more and more. So I would like to end my presentation. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Arigato, Takegawa-san. Thank you so much for summarizing the importance of university cooperatives in the context of our webinar today. And secondly, walking us through a very important aspect of how university cooperatives have evolved in a country like Japan, and how the historical evolution has led to strategic student autonomy for students in Japan, and eventually make the student voices heard. The influence of student councils, how historically they had declined in the 60s, and now how there is also a seeming resurgence when a national level federation and a movement takes forward the university cooperative movement overall. Secondly, thank you very much for also touching upon the aspect of the worker cooperative laws, the forward-looking developments that have happened in the cooperative ecosystem. It is also notable to say that recently Senator Kaweda Ryuhi had introduced a resolution in the current session of the Japan's Diet or Japan Parliament, which recognizes the International Year of Cooperatives. And it was near unanimously, nearly 227 out of 230 votes passed the resolution in support of promotion of cooperatives in Japan. That is a recent development that is also encouraging for the movement. So thank you very much once again, Takegawa-san. Without further ado, we move on to our first speaker, an inspiring and dynamic young leader from the Korean student cooperative movement, Mr. Dongjuk Park, the chairperson of the student committee of KFUC. Over to you, Mr. Kwak. Mr. Donjun Kwak, are you able to hear us? You are muted.
Yes, he's just sharing his screen.
No problem.
Hello everyone, my name is Dongjun Kwak. I'm honored to give the presentation on the topic Growing Leadership Throughout University Cooperation. I currently serve as the president of the student committee of the Korea Federation of University Corporation, KFUC. Today, I will share five key chapters in this presentation. I began my journey with University Cooperative in September 2023. In 2024, I served as president of the student committee at Sungsil University Customer Corporation for a year. At the beginning of this year, I was elected as the president of the student committee of KFUC, and have also continued as a board director of the Federation for a second consecutive year. Additionally, since March, I have served as the executive director of ICA-AP, that a non-profit volunteer organization related to the university corporation. Let me now give you a brief overview of university corporation in Korea. Currently, there are 34 university corporation nationwide, serving as 150,000 members. The first university cooperative in Korea was established at Seogang University. Since that, other universities like Ewha Women's University and Joseon University followed. In 1999, the Customer Corporation Act as entrance, and on December 14th of the same year, Sungsil University Customer Corporation was officially founded. And yes, that's my university. This was the first university corporation established under the new law after 2011, the Korea Federation of University Corporation KFUC was established and it now celebrating its 15th anniversary. In 2021, the corporation convenience store brand Coopscat was launched, and 2024, the corporation cafe brand Coop Cafe was introduced. As of June 2025, there are 17 Coop stores across 23 university corporations and 10 Coop Cafe branches across 6 university corporations. University Corporation of Korea operate a variety of on-campus service, cafeteria, cafe, convenience store, bookstore, and stationery shop. Most university operation their own cafeteria. In terms of cafe, Coop Cafe is still relatively new, so many schools run their own independent cafe. Coop's Cat is the standard convenience store brand used at the most university. Throughout some, like Chungnam University and Gyeongbok National University, use different model. Bookstore and stationery shop are operated at many schools. including Gangwon National University, Dongguk University, to support students' academic needs. Beyond this, many corporations also run university goods store that sells school merchandise and souvenir, as well as fitness center, creating a wide network of the student-focused facility. Now, let's look at what student commit to within university corporation. I have broke down their many activities into four categories. First, promotion. Student commit raise our awareness about the cooperation and encourages to join as a member, especially during orientation in February and the beginning of the September semester in March. Second, students run business. Commission plan and manager their own event and program, like snack giveaway or member festival. Third, education. Educational programs are conducted to help students member understand the purpose, the stroke of the university corporation. Fourth, meeting. Student commits for international meeting and participated in decision-making bodies like a General Assembly and Board of Directors to represent students' voice. Now, let's take a look at the activity of the KFUC Students Commit, which currently I lead. First, SNS promotion. We run events and campaigns via Instagram to promote university cooperation. For example, students who use cooperation service and post photos with receive prize. We also held event on the cooperation principle. Second, students run business. The KFUC committee is divided in three teams: planning, policy, and promotion. Each organization their own self in initiative project. This year, we are planning a policy forum between students, board manager, and National Assembly representative. Third, education. We offer training programs for students commit member to enhance their confidence and motive as a cooperation leader. Fourth, workshop and meeting. We hold monthly online meeting and quarterly online meeting. We also host nationwide students workshop. Our last one was at ski resort in Pyeongchang. And the next will be in Busan or Gangneung by the sea. Next, I would like to explain why student commit are necessary. Here are four key reasons based on the personal view. First, student centers operation. We contribute to a cooperation activity from the students' perceived by students for students. Second, voice for the students. Students commit represent students member and protect their rights within the cooperative. Third, active in decision making by pers- persist- participating in governance body like the General Assembly and Board. We ensure students' voice are heard in democracy decision making. Fourth, driven by students, we initiate, uh, initi- initiate and manage self-lead project that build stronger engagement between the corporation and students member. In the previous sector, I explained why students are important. Now I want to share why the mirror from the reader development perspective based on my personal journey. At first, I joined the student commit just a campus activity, but after attending the 2023 Korea-Japan Students Exchange Seminar, I developed a strong interest in improving university cooperation. That's when I decided to run for president of the Sungsil University Student Committee. During my term, president and board manager, I was constantly challenged to plan programs, coordinate teams, and balance different options. All of these helped me grow in community and communication and leadership. Now, as a president of KFUC Student Committee, I lead student organization nationwide. I have had the chance to work with people from all over the country, and throughout this experience, I developed bolder, deeper leadership skill. That's why I'm confident in saying cooperative are the best place to develop democracy leadership because in cooperative we practice decision making, collaboration, growth, not just in theory but in real life. The key message I came to while preparing this presentation is cooperatives are a school of leadership. Indeed, cooperatives are a school of leadership where democracy values take root. Throughout my experience as a student, representative, I have learned to listen to others, communicate clearly, manage team and lead people, plan and run project from start to finish. University cooperation have been inseparable parts of my students' life, and I want to continue to build that journey with them. To close this presentation, I want to share a sentence that summarizes my entire experience. For me, the university cooperative was more than just an activity. It was a space where I grow with others. I hope to continue learning, sharing, and changing throughout the cooperation every step on my campus journey. Thank you for so much listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Quack, for your
네,
sharing your
감사드립니다.
inspiring journey. And I think
큰
as a third
영감을
year
받았습니다.
who has been part of the university cooperative movement for the last 2 or 3 years, and outlining the activities that you have undertaken at the KFUC as well as within the student committee is inspiring. The work that you've done in Songsil University as well as part of the overall federation in Korea is definitely inspiring for other members who are part of the webinar today. So moving on to the next speaker, I would like to welcome Mr. Mohammad Ayman, who is the Deputy Chair of Koperasi Siswa University, Saints Islam, Malaysia, USIM, Berhad, Malaysia. Over to you, Mr. Ayman.
Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Could you speak a little louder?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Can you all see the slide? Yes, is it?
Yeah, perfectly. Thank you.
All right. Okay, good day everyone. My name is Muhammad Aiman Akhil and I'm truly honored to be presenting at this webinar. Today, I will be sharing about a topic that close to my heart, which is cooperative education in practice, bridging theory and practice in cooperative learning models. We often talk about preparing students for the real world, but how do we actually do that? In my presentations, I will explain how cooperative education offers a powerful way for students to not just learn, but to experience leadership, management, and ethical responsibility through real world. Okay, what is praxis? Okay, praxis means putting learning into action. It's the moment when students stop only reading about ideas, but actually start using them. Okay, for example, instead of learning about leadership, students join meeting, create a meeting, and lead a team. So not just learning how to become a good leader, but they are use it in the real life. Okay, instead of learning about finance, they manage to build a real budget or real business income or profit or loss income that they can use in the real life, not just in the class. This is more than theory. This is real engagement. It turns a classroom learning into something that shapes students' behavior, mindset, and impact. Okay, what makes praxis powerful is that not just a university's project or cooperative project. It's a real learning with a real impact. Students don't just memorize information; they use the information and face real problems and makes real decisions. And that experience stays with them long after graduation. And then, okay, now why are cooperative the perfect environment for praxis? Okay, first is there are two key reasons. First is cooperative built on participation. Students learn how to make a democratic decision, learn to manage a limited resource, and take a part in planning, handling money, and paperwork. Second, cooperative are structured yet flexible. They give a students real roles, but also room to grow, fail, and try again. These combinations make students cooperative an excellent place to practice leadership, responsibility, and community values. All right, next. Let me now share some examples of praxis in actions based on actual students cooperative project in my place in my country. First is the one common activity is managing a printing service. Student is responsible to preparing a voucher, keeping enough inventory, make sure that in the printing have enough inventory like paper or ink or etc. Or maintaining the printer regularly, make sure that every month they go to maintain the printer to make sure that the printer is going well. And also the most important thing is create a profit or monthly profit and loss report. This is important because with this report, student can know that how much income they get in the month, in that month. Okay, and how much they are lost in that month. So this is important to student for learn. So next is paying wages to any helpers. Okay, this is not just a technical task, but also time management, accountability, and teamwork. Because we all know that students have assignment, have a class, but they have to manage their time, their class to make a creative project. Uh, next is this is one of the hardest project that in my place use, which is a tourism project, which is in my university, in my USIM, we have a tourism project, which is we bring our student to other country. In my place, last year we bring 20 or 40 students to Thailand and Korea to students to enjoy and learn what is called their community like that. Which is this is the hardest project, but it's so enjoyable because students can travel outside the country and along and with them they can learn to make money. What they can do and what they learn is they learn to research and choose attractive destinations, get a full itinerary, look for the best transportation options in outside of the country, and act a tour leaders to guide customer or to guide students. Last and communicate, and last and more important is to learn to communicate with travel partner abroad or with the outside agency. This gives students real exposure to how to plan more accurately to logistics and leadership, all in one experience. Okay, next is this is the easiest what is called easiest easiest project, which is but we give a lot of money. A selling gift basket. Here, students learn to promote their product or service, coordinate with a supplier and customer. They learn how to find a good supplier or supplier that give a cheap product so they can have a more profit. And they learn also to find a customer, how to communicate with customer, how to make sure that customer interesting to buy their items, and so on. And next is they learn also to organize receipts and tracking spending, pay wages to helpers, and design and decorate the final product. Through this, they experience entrepreneurship from start to finish, from marketing the product to production to customer service. Okay, with this actually with this project, in my place have get a lot of money in 1 month. In 1 month, you can get like 600 USD, 600 USD in 1 month for student, not a big company. Student can get a 600 monthly in 1 month with just this simple project. And next is what students actually get when in cooperative. Okay, first is practical skills. Practical skills. They learn real world skills like financial management, like I said before. They learn how to make a business income, how to make business plan, make a make a profit and loss report. They also learn how to be a good leadership and how to and teamwork. They learn how to work together. It's make them better than anyone else, because uh, most students have ideas, have knowledge, but they don't know how to practice in their life. But in the cooperative, we learn how to get the knowledge and we learn how to use the knowledge in the real life. And next is ethical thinking. Ethical thinking, they practice fairness, transparency, and share decision making. They learn to take other people's ideas and working together with other people. And last is employability. They gain the experience that prepare them for real jobs and give them the confidence to lead the people that older than them or to communicate effectively with those in higher positions. Are not just a school achievements. These are life skills that all students, people should have. Okay, next is uh, role of university. But for practice to happen, students need more than motivation. They need support. They need support from who? From university. So, what university should do, or what university can give? It must give. First is give a students real responsibility, not just observe, but manage and lead. So student can lead the actual team, lead the project, and make them more experienced. Okay, next is provide mentoring while allowing autonomy. This give students, but let them make decisions and take risks. Guide a student, but let them make decisions and take risks. And last is create safe space to fail and learn, which is this is so important to student, which is student is so young, so have to more, they have to learn more and they have to fail and learn. Real leadership includes making mistakes and growing from them. When university do this, they don't just produce graduates or young educated student, but they build a future leaders. They can manage the country. They can build a good country. Okay. Okay. In conclusions, cooperative educations, when practiced through real activities, is one of the best way to build a responsible, confident, and ethical leader, which is the importance for all students to get all of these things. Practice helps students to connect knowledge to actions, and that's what the world truly needs. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience, your activities, and how eventually this very specific area of praxis contributes to overall building the cooperative spirit, bringing more young people into the fore for cooperative leadership within campuses. Thank you once again, Ayman. Um, Without further ado, we would like to go to our third speaker, Mr. Keita Takasu. I had the pleasure to hear Mr. Takasu speak recently, through an online video during the launch of the International Year of Cooperatives at the UN University in Tokyo. So Mr. Takasu, as we mentioned earlier, is the chairperson of the student committee of the NFUCA. And here he will be sharing, his experience building the together with the National Federation and also from within the university, within the perspective of the university level movement as well. So over to you, Takasu-san. Just want to also remind our colleagues and participants here today. So when the speakers are speaking in Japanese, you might have to enable the Japanese translation feature that is underneath on the bottom bar of the Zoom application. So just to remind participants, kindly enable your Japanese translation on. Over to you, Takasu-san.
Now, this is English channel. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased that you were able to actually hear my presentation at the United Nations University. Thank you very much. I would like to speak on this developing student leadership through the student committee of this cooperative of the Japanese University Cooperative model. Thank you very much. My name is Keita Takasu, and I am the chairperson of the student committee as well as this member of this National Federation of University of the Cooperative Associations. I am from Nagoya, Aichi Prefecture, in the center of the Japanese island archipelago, and the region that I was from Gifu University, and I have actually graduated from this, and I have been involved with the university co-op since my first year of university. This is now my 6th year for this opportunity for me to present to you. So first of all, I would like to talk about this National Federation of the University Cooperative Association, NFUCA. And 80 to 87% of the universities in Japan has the student cooperatives. And we are having of this the 1.5 million members as of September 2024. About 85% of the students are the members of the cooperative. And the university corps in Japan starts from the Doshisha University and in the 1898. And during the war, it was stopped, but it has been resumed and has flourished to this day. So that the university co-ops are actually aiming this various the successful arranging products and wide-ranging projects and activities, which for the universities, undergraduate students, international students, faculty members, university staff, we are seeing all these stakeholders in the university cooperative to cater activities. So therefore, the co-op is at the center of trying to enhance the various relationships of the participation, including members of the university co-op. We have General Assembly and the meeting of the representatives with the board of directors and the student committee. And the student committee is the one that we also work with the co-op members and also be able to handle various areas of the actual practice. Student committee actually is established under the board of directors and is actually be able to help with this the various undergraduate co-op members, where they will be able to have the linkage with the various activities on campus and out of the campus in the local community, including the university. So in the cooperatives, the student committee, as you can see from the graph, it had actually decreased at the time of COVID, of the pandemic, so that about 10,000 students that we had lost around in COVID. But in the 2024, we are able to have this back to about 9,000, and currently around 10,000 students are involved in the student committee. So as of 2014, we have about 9,074 students active in 219 student committees across Japan. And the student committee activities, it is varies on the various different areas. We have welcoming new students for the start of the year, and we utilize the cooperative stores, and sometimes we have the music live performances, as well as some of for supporting health and safety, as to remind of this type of prevention activities, and also ideas, learning and growth. Have various seminars to actually have some of the senior students to share their ideas to the younger students. And also, the activity of thinking about the peace, such as taking up the topic of Hiroshima, we actually take a very much in this type of the sharing of the values. So the student committee activity, there are many other areas for better university life for our cooperative members. Across Japan, around 10,000 student committee members, as well as other students, co-op staff, and faculty members are all having this connection to support and learn from each other, to connect with one another through shared activities and mutual exchange of the values. And as for the member collaboration, in 2024, we have had this type of the activity. On the left is a co-member activity of the training seminar. And we explore the activities of the members. Hand side is the National Student Committee chair to have a seminar so that they gathered from all over Japan to share and help with their various projects. And as for the overview of member collaboration, we have this type of growing together through shared activities and services, such as on the right, environmental forum that we have had. And on the left, this is a mutual aid seminar of this Fukushima, where we had this Fukushima study tour. And on the right, peace the workshop at the Hiroshima and Nagasaki and Okinawa. We engaged in such peace learning activities. So the various activities like this, that all of the national the co-op would actually connect with each other and be able to make more active the activities for their individual university co-op when they go back. So this type of being involved in a university co-op, these are some of the things, three items that I feel is important. One is that to enhance the lives of fellow students through our meaningful activities, so that they're able to connect the sort of newcoming students, so that they can have the peer connection and also keep that friendship throughout the whole the year at the university. And with the building connection, diverse range of people, then they could improve the quality of their lives and the various activities. So that this is the second one of this peer connection with a diverse range of people, not just the students, but the student, the committee is able to have this various the relationship with the stakeholders or the other sort of student, university and so forth, so that having this type of a connection with the people of the different area, then also sometimes it's a wake-up call for your own, how you can actually improve your life. So that is the third point, improving my own life, such activities, and be able to share the same new values through. And this actually is a wake-up call for us to be able to get involved with focus on not just the student committee, but with other type of connections with the other members. And this is something that we can actually use in our daily life and be able to improve our life through actual power of this cooperation with others. So this awareness and this being involved in cooperatives at the university is very much asset, something that is very valuable to me. So therefore, this is very much the current focus of the student committee in our university So since the pandemic, that the working with the members, we did have a temporary stop because of such pandemic. But when I entered the university at 2020, it was difficult at the time of pandemic to be able to get involved in. Now, the 5 years down the line, in this 2025, that we do see that the cooperative activities are becoming so active now, and working with the members, we could really feel and have the opportunity to really appreciate the way that we can work university co-op with our own as well as others. So therefore, the various the collaboration or the cooperation we could have, learn from each other, especially we learn from the different student committees, and we also look into how we can actually generate more robust type of university co-op activities by doing so. So therefore, the university co-op member activities is something that we fulfill each the member's wish, and way we also improve our own lives, so that this ideal way we can bring the ideal university life into reality, where members can really shine with the university co-op and gain experience and be able to develop and grow. And the students, the committee is the one that is actually a driver of the leadership. So the next year, when I finish, I will be working at the student cooperative as a member to work for this. So I will carry forward the spirit of cooperation in both my life and the lives of those around me. So this sense of cooperative and collaboration will be my banner going forward to this working world next year. So that would be all from me. Thank you very much for kind attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Takasu, for sharing your experience and also sharing your journey. I think as a young member of the cooperative and later serving in the leadership. And now it's even more inspiring that you have mentioned that you will come back into the university cooperative ecosystem to continue to serve more students and the cause. I'm for the information of participants, I'm also sharing the links to each one of these three models or three examples and organizations that we have discussed today. And also I'll be sharing the copy of the speech that Takasu-san had earlier as well for your reference. So I think we have a plethora of examples that these specific university cooperatives have shared, not just in terms of day-to-day management of university co-op from a student perspective, but also addressing larger activities such as student exchanges, inter-regional cultural exchanges. Very important aspect that NFUCA just mentioned, peace building activities, in a world of emerging conflict and continuing wars. I think it is also important that we continue peace building activities and overall solidarity through cultural exchanges. Both of these are done in both these exchange, but all three of these examples that we heard from Malaysia, Korea, and Japan. So moving on to the next segment of our webinar, I would like to open the floor for any question and answers, and also request Professor Yashwanta Dongre, the co-secretary of ICEI, to share a few of his reflections first, and probably a summary of the key takebacks from both his experience as a veteran cooperator for the last 3 or 4 decades in the region, and also somebody who has been closely associated for the last 30 years with the university cooperative movement, both in Japan as well as AP, the Asia Pacific region. So we'll start off to hear from Professor Dongre and open the floor for overall Q&A, which Professor Dongre will be facilitating. Over to you, Dongre-san.
Thank you, Ganesh. I think it may be a good idea. Already someone is raising the hand, so we'll have the interactions first so that I'll briefly stop in the end. Good idea to be giving chance to the participants to interact.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So Mr. Babu Khanal and Cherry have raised their hands. Mr. Babul Khanal, maybe you can speak first. I think you're muted. We cannot hear you yet, Mr. Khanal.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for organizing this very wonderful event. Yeah. University Cooperative itself is a very interesting system inside the cooperative system. Yeah. So let me share my experience when I was there in Japan, when I was studying in the Hiroshima University. I studied 2 years master degree in Hiroshima University, and I became the member of that Hiroshima University right from the first day. Yeah? When I started my entry in the university, is the army share money, and I became the member of that Hiroshima University cooperative associations. And then after being the members here, what I received from the university cooperatives, that when I go to the area and I go to the stationery shops, and I go to the to take the ticket from for the railway, or ticket for the aeroplane, yes, oh, everything here. Yes, sir, what I need as a students, yeah, yes, sir. The university cooperatives provide me that kind of facility, yeah. So as students and as a foreigner, yes, if I go outside, yes, I will have some burden to explore the things which I need here. But when I give those kind of facilities inside the university, yeah, it is very much very much helpful for me as a foreigner. Yeah, so that kind of integrated facility that a university cooperative provides in Japan. So I am much more impressive. I also wrote that kind of note in my in the box also. Yeah. So this kind of system we have to replicate in other countries also. And when I came back from Japan, I started the kind is to start the university co in our university. Tirupati University is the government university, and we started talking or starting about the university co, but it is not happened yet. It is not yet. So because yes, sir, before establishing that kind of university cooperatives, we need to have some background here, some background or some I mean some insights like the regulation here. Establishing university cooperative inside the university, maybe our law should have to establish that kind of university inside the university. So I would like to know that whether in all those countries, like first of all, we heard from the Malaysia, secondly, we heard from Korea, and thirdly, we heard from Ms. Takeshi-san. Yeah, arigato gozaimasu for this impressive presentation. Yeah. And so what is the system, or what is the legal system inside those university, whether the regulation or the bylaws is mentioned inside the university's laws, or it is a different kind of laws through that you establish, or what kind of laws it is governed, or it is governed. So I would like to know that kind of things. And another thing is that since it is led by the program is led by the ICA. So let's elaborate opinions is inside our also, and ICA should, I think, yeah, maybe yes, should make that kind of a kind of a project, or the concept of the project, and about replicating those kind of success cases of those three countries to the other parts of the country. I don't know in India what kind of system is there, whether it is likely as it is in Japan or not. I don't know. Professor Dungre will elaborate on. I hope, yeah. So maybe it will be very much helpful to us, yeah. For the time being, it is all my opinion. And then if I have some opinion, maybe later on I will speak here. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kanal, and sharing your anecdotal experiences, both studying in Japan and also as a member of the university collective system back in the day. And I'm sure our colleagues here would also like to respond to that. But before that, I would probably take one more question. I saw Cherry had raised her hand. Cherry, are you still here with us?
Yes, hello, good day.
Oh.
Am I audible?
Yeah, thank you, Cherry. Cherry joins us from the ICA-AP Youth Committee. She's one of the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, it's Cherry. I'm representing now the ICA Committee on Youth Cooperation in the Asia Pacific region. And so I would like, before I go into the question, I think it's really good that we commend all the speakers that we have right now for sharing all those activities that they had in their university cooperatives. Now, with the speakers that we have in this seminar, there's one thing that I find something in common, like to all of them. Young leaders who are passionate in the cooperative movement. And this is the kind of leaders that we wanted to build, the leaders who will lead the cooperative movement in the present and in the future. Going back to the question, at some point, it is kind of hard for some youth to be engaged and be committed and remain committed in the cooperative movement. Now, with a large number, this can be answered by the three of them. With a large number of members that you have in your university, like 1,000 now, every involved in your activities, and one is left behind.
Hi, thank you, Cherry, for sharing that. Am I audible?
Hear the question clearly, or is there like an internet problem
Yes.
here? A new problem or something?
Ganesh, can you brief this question back to them?
I
both
have
of them?
lost my internet connection. Cherry,
Yeah.
Oh,
could you repeat the
yeah,
last
I can.
part?
Yes, I can repeat that. Okay, at some point, it is kind of hard for some youth to be engaged or like really fully committed in the cooperative movement. Or let's take, for example, in the university co-ops, in their presentations, I've seen like there is a large number of members in their university co-ops, like it's thousands, millions. So I'm curious as to how they ensure that everyone is involved in their activities and that no one is left behind, because it's really good that you involved all of them. So what are their ways, or what are their tips that they could possibly share to us?
Thank you, Cherry. I think this time it was very clear. So basically, the question is, when we have a large, student member base, ultimately, the idea of cooperatives or cooperation being that everybody has a democratic participation in the whole process. And also being students or youth, everybody would be enthused or ideally should be enthused to be both part of the activity process as well as decision making. How do we make sure that everybody is involved and, how do we bring together everyone and have a feeling of everybody contributing? And your root cause or the problem that you're also trying to address is that when there is a large number in thousands and millions, let's say in larger countries like Japan or India or Indonesia or Malaysia, these numbers are also huge in terms of the university cooperative movement. So how do we address that? So yeah, so over to Dongre-san and to our speakers. Maybe one of our speakers would like to address this question.
I just like to simplify the two questions so that any one of the three presenters can answer. The first question from Babul Kanal is about whether the legislations permit constituting or establishing these kinds of cooperatives within the campuses.
Right.
And second question from Cherry is, in all your cooperatives, you have large number of students as members. So what do you do to make sure that more students participate? Yeah, may I request one of you to please, or maybe each one of you can answer based on your own country's experience.
Maybe we'll start with Takasu-san and then go to Ayman.
はい、ご質問いただきありがとうございます。
Thank you very much for your question.
最初の
Well,
後半いただいた質問の
on the second question, in the how that we don't leave anybody behind type of how to get everybody involved, it is within the framework of the students actually graduate after several years, but what kind of the concerns do they have? What kind of ideas and what is there, so that they may feel that some of the various the products that are actually expensive and they have this money problem, or the tablet, or if they're using iPad and other devices, what are some of the needs that has changed over the years, and to be able to follow up on all those changes or the actual needs and concerns is something that the cooperative should be able to touch upon. So therefore, will be able to cater to the various people of this cooperative information, that how the university cooperatives must be able to serve such needs. And as for the first question on this student, the committee, and is it because the culture, or is it because of the regulations, the regulatory things? Well, that first question, I think depending on that, it's a little bit hard for me to address, but it's not so much of the law or the regulation. It's rather, first is be able to feed, so that the food or the actual be able to manage the life expenses. So that is the most important. I think that was the start to actually be able to help out the students, was the actual building up of that, and became more of the, so that the history-wise, it was, so I don't think there's one or two factors that actually made it kind of what it is today. So, but it has gradually grown to that kind of body. So the managing director, Mr. Nakamori, please help me and add some. Hello, NFCA, Nakamori. So I would like to answer two things. One is that in Japan, the regulatory of this Japanese cooperative there was, after the World War II, there was this regulatory type of ordinance. And as Mr. Takegawa said, that this type of cooperative is still the stance is very important, so that the cooperatives do need to strengthen these areas in a legal sense as well. And the second is that for the turning point of the university cooperatives is that this a type of the cooperative within the university, it becomes a very close-knit ties with the university as an institution itself, so that there is a relationship with the cooperatives and the academic institution of the university itself. So therefore, the trust and confidence, as well as the students to be well looked after, was the kind of the combination that how it actually became a strong bonding.
Thank you so much, Nakamori-san and Takasu-san, for addressing both these questions. I think it's also important to understand the both legal frameworks as well as the evolutionary basis for cooperative movements in the context of multiple countries, including Japan. In the interest of time, I would also want to quickly jump to two more questions that have come in the chat box before we take up the next speaker also. This is from Dr. Sagar Vadkar. He's an advisor at the National Cooperative Union of India. Thank you, Sagar, for joining us today and raising these two questions. What are the legal framework, guidelines, model bylaws that exist in Japan, Malaysia, Korea for promotion and formation of university or campus cooperatives? I think Japan we've just looked at or addressed right now. We'll come to Malaysia and Korea afterwards. Secondly, an operational question. What happens when student members leave the campus? Should their shares be refunded or can their membership continue even though they are no longer on campus and not availing cooperative services? And thirdly, in board of directors, is it only students or combination of students, teaching, non-teaching staff? So three questions. First one is a repetition of what was already asked. Second, do students on graduation leave, I think, their membership? And third one, what is the composition of the board of directors? Again, perhaps we would like to hear from all the three country speakers. This time, maybe we'll start with Quack and then move on to Ayman and then Takasu. Quack, maybe you can address all three of these points.
일단은 한국 같은 경우에는 협동조합을 위한 법안이 존재하는데 이 법의 번역본은 제가 지금 링크로 채팅방에 보내드리도록 하겠습니다.
For the first answer, For the first answer, I will upload a link that has a translation of the description of our law as it pertains to cooperatives in the chat.
Just a quick question. So the regular cooperative law that applies to registration of cooperatives in the country is what applies to university co-ops as well, or is there a separate law in Korea that applies for university co-op registration?
네, 협동조합을 위한 전체적인 법이고 대학생협을 위한 법안은 따로 존재하지 않습니다. 그렇기 때문에 대학생협은 이 협동조합 법의 지배를 받습니다.
There isn't a separate law for university co-ops, so the overarching law for all co-ops applies.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
그리고 학생조합원이 졸업이나 이런 걸로 학교를 떠나게 되는 경우에는 학생조합원뿐만 아니라 교직원, 교수들도 출자금을 반환받을 수 있습니다. 원래는 학교를 다니지 않는다면은 조합원을 살펴야 되는 게 기본이지만 사실 현실적으로 봤을 때는 모두 탈퇴하는 것이 어렵기 때문에 그대로 남아있는 경우도 있습니다.
And for the second question, when students leave campus or they graduate, and this includes professors and staff members as well, they are able to get their shares refunded. Generally, the principle is that if you leave the university, then you can no longer be a member. But realistically, this is difficult to enforce. So there are situations in which students remain.
Right. Thank you so much for clarifying that as well. Thirdly, in the board of directors, is it just students or both teachers, students, non-teaching staff also?
이사회 같은 경우에는 학생, 교직원, 교수 모두 참여하는 구조이며 보통은 같은 비율로 구성됩니다.
For the third question, for the board of directors, we have students, staff members, and professors, and the ratio of each participant is we generally keep it pretty equal.
Thank you. Thank you so much for clarifying all three of these points from the Korean perspective. Over to you, Ayman. Could you walk us through the scenario in Malaysia's cooperative movement?
All right. Okay. In Malaysia, for the first question, in Malaysia, the establishment and regulation of students' cooperative falls under the Cooperative Society Act 1993 and its subsequent amendment. The Malaysia Cooperative Societies Commission, which is Suruhanjaya Koperasi Malaysia, serves as the primary regulatory body, offering detailed operational guidelines and standardized model by law. The government has also actively promoted campus cooperative through initiatives such as Cooperative Students Malaysia, aiming to foster entrepreneurship among students. That's for question 1. For question 2, an important operation question is in our country concern the status of students member after graduate. Okay, the concern member after graduate is across Malaysia. Commonly, we practice is we refund the membership share capital once the student exit the university. This process is typically outlined in the cooperative bylaws and may involve a formal withdrawal procedure. Continued membership post-graduation is generally discouraged or restricted because in Malaysia, after the student is graduated, he or she must also exit the cooperative students, because in the cooperative student law, only students member only can join. If you have graduation, you cannot be a member of the cooperative students. For last questions, the compositions of the board BOD in the university cooperative varies, but in my place, it tends to be 50-50. 3 is staff and others is students in the board of directors. I don't know in Japan or Korea is the same, but if in my university, 3 is staff and other board of directors is students.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ayman. You very, in a crisp manner, you've addressed it very directly, all three of these questions. Thank you for sharing the perspective from Malaysia. And I think being the last question and the perspective from the last speaker before we go on to Dogri-san, Mr. Takasu, if you can hear the question 2 and 3 response from Japan.
In Japan also, they would actually get the refunded when they graduate. So therefore, their graduation means that they will actually terminate their membership. But mostly, they will be joining other cooperatives, or they would actually give the contribution of their the balance to donate for the other students. And as for the board of directors, Various staff, including the professors, are also included in the board.
Thank you, Taka Susan. I think this is the case that happened to Mr. Babul Khanal also. I was just reading a message from him on the chat box. When he graduated as well in Hiroshima University, the share was refunded and the opportunity was given to further students after that. So thank you, all three speakers, for sharing this. Dongre-san, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And first of all, I congratulate all the three young cooperators for their presentation. I would consider all of them as the cooperative leaders in the making. We have seen from the experiences of these young students that cooperatives within the campuses provide multiple opportunities to the students, both in support of their academic activities as well as in giving them an exposure to a lot of hands-on experiences. I have seen from the presentations of Korea how student committee facilitates multiple activities to be taken up from the students, which is both supporting the cooperative as well as helping themselves. And similarly, from Malaysia, we observed that students' participation at different levels are facilitated. And the Japanese presentation clearly demonstrated that the activities of the student committee goes beyond the campus activities, but extends to activities like peace. So I think Mr. Takasu ended very well by saying that it helps me to help others as well as to help myself. So it's the most important value of cooperatives, that is self-help and collective action. So at the grassroots level, at the level of educational institutions, I think definitely presence of campus cooperative helps building leadership abilities among young people. It serves as a laboratory. While it helps the campus community through services, it also makes young people learn a lot of things. There are similar situations in different other countries in Asia Pacific. We have very active young students cooperatives in Indonesia. We have similar cooperatives in India. Actually, there should have been one presentation from an Indian cooperative as well, but I don't know, we missed out on that. So it's important that we create these democratic platforms within our campuses, so young people will have a chance to participate, chance to build their skills, and also contribute to the larger cause. We are today looking at strengthening the cooperative movement, and naturally, a lot of young blood is required for that. So, presence of the campus cooperatives will promote such cooperative leaders. Uh, I have seen in case of Japan or in case of Indonesia, how those who are active in campus cooperatives will eventually either become staff of the cooperatives or become leaders of the citizen cooperatives. So this is, I think, extremely important. I'm very happy that this webinar brought in the three young leaders in the making to share these experiences. And I hope that all of us have learned from this. Just a small bit of information to Mr. Babul in Nepal, that ICA Asia Pacific has actually already done a couple of initiatives in Nepal, and in Tribhuvan University, there was a workshop held about how these campus cooperatives could be formed in Nepal. So I'm sure your colleagues in Tribhuvan University will know about it. Please have a discussion with them. And I will be very happy to come over to see when the first university cooperative starts in Nepal. Okay, so with that note, thank you very much for giving this chance to me to listen to all of you. I hope through our committee, we are going to have more of these interactive sessions, both at the national level and at the regional level. Once again, all my good wishes to all the three young presenters. And thanks to Professor Shogo Takegawa, the chairman of our committee, and to Ganesh for organizing this webinar beautifully. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dongre-san. Since you mentioned both of these points towards the end of your talk, one, they either become staff or they become community or citizen leaders. I want to have just a contextualization and a big shout out to one of the biggest pillars of our ICI committee, Dina, who has joined us today. So Dina was an exchange student. Sorry, Dina, if I am taking the liberty to share this background. So Dina was also a student who had participated as part of NFUCA's exchange, and now she works heading the international relations division in NFUCA and continues to work as part of the movement. Secondly, Takasu-san, who we already mentioned, he's also coming and becoming part of the university cooperative ecosystem back again after once he graduates. And I'm sure there will be more from Korea, Malaysia, and other active cooperative ecosystems. So I think these are both relatable examples, just like you and me around us, who are part of the university system, who have actually, given their, active years and life to the furtherance of university cooperatives in this respective countries. So thank you for your continued commitment and service here. Secondly, another point that to reflect upon that Dongre-san mentioned, self-help and collective action. So we keep saying that, we cooperatives keep people before profit. So ultimately having the values of humanity in between a very highly competitive world where humanity itself is faced by challenges threatening its own existence. It is, again, we keep repeating that it's an age of collaboration and sustainability is the key. And that need not just be financial sustainability, rather sustainability of the planet as well as people at large. And such education for practice and action is most important. So I bring, it gives me pleasure to introduce the final speaker for today. And it is more apt that, we have Dato Kamaruddin Ismail from Ankasa to share his words with us and also share his closing remarks for the webinar. It is only befitting that Dato Kamaruddin is a career educator, having spent nearly 4 to 5 decades in promoting school education as a veteran cooperator and an educationist in Malaysia. He's also the vice chairperson of the ICEI committee as well as the ICA global board member and a former deputy CEO of Ankasa National Cooperative Movement in Malaysia. Over to you, Datu Kamaruddin, and followed by which we will have a quick group photo before we conclude. Datu Kamaruddin, are you able to hear us? Aslin, Rika, is the connection all right?
Yeah. One respect. Okay. Thank you very much, Ganesh. Okay. As for the closure, all right, and a very good afternoon to everyone. As we bring this inspiring session to a close, I wish to take a moment to reflect on the rich discussion and insight shared by all our speakers today. This webinar has shed light on a vital platform, University Cooperative, as vibrant incubator for developing purposeful and academical leadership. From the presentation and dialogue, it is clear that campus cooperative are not merely student enterprise, but training ground that equip young mind with the values of democratic participation, accountability, empathy, and sustainability. We have heard compelling examples from different countries, each demonstrating that when students are entrusted with responsibility and supported by an enabling ecosystem, they rise as leaders with vision and integrity. Cooperative in educational institutions serve as bridge between theory and practice, where academic learning is transformed into real-world action. They offer students opportunities to manage financial responsibility, make collective decisions, and engage in community-based solutions. These experiences do not only enhance employability but cultivate civic mindedness and social consciousness, traits that are critically needed in today's fast changing world. Beyond the campus, these cooperatives also play a pivotal role in shaping future leaders for social and solidarity economy. By championing alternative economic models that prioritize people over profit, university cooperative align with the broader vision of achieving the sustainable development goals, particularly in areas such as poverty reduction, decent work, and gender equality. Through this, students are not only prepared for the workforce, but also for meaningful contribution to community and national development. Another key takeaway is the role of cooperative in nurturing global citizenship. As students learn to work collaboratively across differences with fairness and respect, they begin to internalize the value that underpins sustainable development and peaceful cooperative coexistence. Indeed, when young people are given the tools and trust to lead cooperative, they naturally become advocates of inclusion, social equity, and environmental care. As we conclude, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to the International Cooperative Alliance Asia Pacific and all the partners involved in organizing this important webinar. Thanks to Dina from NFUCA, Dr. Congray, the co-secretary of the ICEI, and Ganesh, the secretary of ICI. Your effort in creating this platform has not only sparked valuable conversation, but also reaffirmed our shared commitment to strengthening cooperative education at all levels. My sincere thanks to also go to all distinguished speakers for your insight, your patience, and your dedication to building the next generation of cooperative leaders. To the participants, thank you for your engagement throughout this session. Let us continue the conversation beyond this vital room by taking concrete steps to support and expand University Cooperative, to invest in leadership development rooted in cooperative values, and to ensure that the youth are not just beneficiaries of development, but active co-creators of a better world. On this note, I once again thank you and to every one of you. May today's discussion serve as a catalyst for meaningful action from campus to community. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dato Kamaruddin, for your words of wisdom, experience, and reflections on we have the need for such conversations, continued need for such activities. I think the two things that you mentioned also that stick with us. One is the inherent effects on social equity and social change that these university cooperatives have by imbibing the values of humanity as well as action, collective action at a very young age. And second, it is, in a world that we are constantly looking inward, this is also a conduit for national development without only being narrow-minded by looking at peace exchanges and regional and global connections. Thank you so much for these concluding remarks. I'd like to make one or two quick announcements, but before that, I would like to quickly request everyone to switch on their video so that we can have a quick picture as we conclude. So whoever, if it is feasible, may I request you to kindly switch on your video cameras. All right. So on the count of three, say cheese, smile. 1, 2, 3. I'll take one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. I don't want to mention specifically, but friends from Sri Lanka, Thailand, from across the region, from the ICYC, the Youth Committee, and the Committee on Cooperative Research have all joined us today. So the three announcements that I would like to quickly make. One is that ICA Asia Pacific is organizing the research conference that we have every year. This year it is going to be held on the 23rd of November in Sri Lanka, Colombo. I'm sharing the link in the chat box, so I would strongly encourage all of you and your respective institutions, and please share it within your networks also and encourage participation and share abstracts. The last date is, the deadline is 30th of June. Secondly, we've also shared earlier in the chat box the interesting student housing cooperative model that was implemented by NFUCA. This can be an inspiration for others in the region and address the problem of very high real estate costs that students often face when they come into large, expensive capital cities. On that note, we are coming out with the COP Dialogue 9 publication, which is a biannual publication that ICA-AP has. And this year, the theme is aligned with the International Year of Cooperatives. So COP Dialogue 9 is going to be coming out. We are also sharing the link for CD9 and request, in case you are interested, please send in your contributions for COP Dialogue 9. And thirdly, most importantly, and the most exciting announcement, ICEI is coming up with the Reels and Short Film competition, and there are exciting prizes awaiting, the cash prizes that are awaiting the winners as well. The ICA Regional Assembly that is happening in November 2024 will also play host to showcase these competition entries that are submitted. So around, in July, in conjunction with the International Day celebrations, we will be launching the Reels competition also. We will write to all of you for sharing it within your networks, encouraging your respective institutions and students to take part. Again, the theme will be more or less aligned with the International Year of Cooperatives theme. So on an exciting 2025 year where we are all in our respective institutions trying to promote the idea of cooperation and moving towards activities for IYC. I hope this is a momentous time and occasion for us to re-engage in dialogue and continue our efforts to further the university cooperative movement in the Asia Pacific region and beyond. So thank you so much once again to everyone. I think we've had a constant participation right until the end of the webinar, despite we having overshot time by nearly 20 minutes. So arigato, terima kasih, and gamsahamnida to all our friends. So hopefully we will see you again for the competitions as well as the upcoming activities that ICI has planned over the course of the year. Thank you once again and take care.
धन्यवाद. ありがとうございました。
Thank you, everybody.